and go.
Hello and welcome to Brothers Forge Gaming. Looking at Thunderbirds here on the NES. As part of our 4th of July celebration, we wanted to do a little something extra with this gameplay review. Now, if you haven't played this game, it is a pretty decent game, brought to us by Activision. They have some pretty good titles on the NES, some of which are relatively inexpensive, and others of which are nearly unobtainable, i.e. Sword Master, which looks like a totally sweet game, but it's several $100s, so yeah. However, this game, if you can find it around 10-15 bucks, I would recommend you pick it up. It is a fun game to play, and it is well animated. It has a fantastic soundtrack, and you know it's not. I'm sure you guys have heard the term NES hard or you know that kind of term, but it is actually one of the easier NES games I have ever played. So if you're looking to play a fun game that is really well made, this is a good game to pick up. Now, stick around through the video. We are going to be bringing you little bits of this, little bits of that, of clips from the movie Team America. I just kind of wanted to spice this video up a little bit to, as I said, celebrate this 4th of July and have a good time with it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. It's kind of it's a long video. It's a complete run in a sense. It is. I don't show every little detail, but you know, we do end up beating the game. Spoiler alerts. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy. Stick around.
Hello, young man. Congratulations on a terrific performance.
Oh, thank you. I don't believe we've met, Mr.
The name is Spotswood.
Well, nice to meet you.
And you are Gary Johnston, all-American actor who graduated Iowa University summa cum laude with a double major in theater and world languages. You've been at the top of every acting class since you were a child. Top gun actor.
As you can tell by the gameplay here, this is your kind of like your typical shooter, shoot 'em up, STG of sorts, if you will, if you're looking to classify this game. However, it does stand apart a little bit. You do get more than one hit, and you can actually recover some of the life points. As you can see here, there are power-ups that you get, most of which are upgrades to your firepower, but as you see that L there, you can recover lost hit points. So that does make it a little bit more accessible to those looking to get into the genre.
Please, Gary, step into my car.
Oh, I get it. I'm supposed to get in your car and let you put your finger inside me. Then if I go down on you, I get a movie part.
No, I just want to show you something.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
Please, Gary, I'm not from Hollywood. I'm not going to fuck your mouth, and my time is extremely valuable.
Now, as you can see here, you do have the freedom to choose which level you want to go to, as indicated on the map by dots there. If you're button mashing, you're going to keep selecting the same level. I've done that a few times, but you know, and a lot of time in these early games, you can get stuck on one level, and it ruins the entire experience. And a lot of games get pushed to the side because, you know, a lot of those levels are so hard. You know, sometimes the first level is so hard you can't pass it. So this one, you do get about 3 or 4 different options to start the game, and you know, the levels do get progressively harder, but like I said, you do have that option to try a different level. So you at least get to try 3 levels. So if you can't pass any of the levels to begin with, you at least get 3 different levels to play. Whereas most NES games, you know, you can't pass the first level and you can no longer play the game at all whatsoever. So that is a nice feature about this game. Now, as you can also see, when you select a level, it gives you a password and it tells you how many days you have left. So you get, I believe it's 60 days, and each time you start a mission, or basically, you know, you die or whatever, it takes X amount of days off. So the game is generous in that manner. I believe you can probably die upwards of 6 to 7 times and still beat the game. So in the shooter genre, those games are notoriously hard, like Gradius or you know, any of those early R-Type style games. You basically, you know, those games are nearly impossible. So this one gives you a little bit more access to the game, to the genre, and it's a lot of fun. It's not as, say, frustrating as some of those aforementioned games.
Let's make this interesting.
Kia!
Here's an example of the password. I'll skip right through that. But you can write that down. Say you're doing well. You're jamming through the game. You've cleared a couple levels. It's a good idea to write down those passwords in case, for whatever reason, you start wiping a lot. The deaths can stack very easily, and like a lot of games, they can become increasingly frustrating, and you just kind of gotta take a little break and come back to it, and they're passable. So, keep that in mind when you're playing through it. So you might be wondering, what's with the puppets? Back in the late 90s, Trey Parker and Matt Stone basically did whatever the hell they wanted to do. They made a movie based on an obscure show from the 60s. I believe 64, something like that, was the first air date of that show. I personally haven't watched an episode, but I probably should. Now, doing this whole, getting into this retro gaming experience, I wasn't even aware, I played NES growing up. It's always been probably my favorite system, but, growing up you only play the major titles, like the Marios, the Contras, you don't really, by the time you realize there's all these other games, you're already moved on. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all those, so you forget about all these games that started coming out in the 90s, 91, 92, 93. Because you've already, by then you're already playing the next gen console. So it's nice, it's part of the thing that we talk about. It's really awesome doing like game hunting, game reviews, things like that. We're finding all these games that we otherwise probably wouldn't even have known existed. And this happens to be a game that I enjoy. A lot of time you get stinkers and you're like, that game's terrible, and you just throw it in the pile to either, destroy it or do whatever. Do what you will with it. But this game happened to be quite a pleasant experience. All around, this game is fantastic. So yeah, basically I'd never heard of this game. I'd seen the movie Team America. I was aware that they had based that movie on the show from, like I was talking about, the Thunderbirds show from the 60s. I was aware of those things, but I did not know there was an NES game. And when I found this at the video store, I was like, Thunderbirds? Okay, alright. I was like, that sounds kind of cool, because, usually when you see a game, when you're out there, when you're hunting around and you see a game you haven't seen before, it's generally a good idea to just pick it up. Because if you haven't seen it on the shelf before, it's probably going to be an entertaining game at the least, or hey, it's a game that you didn't have before, so there you go. But yeah, anyways, I got home and nostalgia hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy shit, Team America? So, then the wheels started turning, and I decided, what would be a cool idea is to do a gameplay on this video and interject some Team America into it. Now, we don't normally do that kind of thing here at Brothers Forge. We just, we're really big on just bringing you gameplay and, informing on the game and the mechanics and that kind of thing. But, it's the 4th of July. This is America here, and we like to, well, we like to celebrate our holidays here. So here we go.
Oh, I am serious. Look, this is my serious face.
As I'd mentioned earlier, you do get power-ups. As you can see here, you get different vehicles, so each stage requires a different vehicle. As you can see, it's like, Thunderbird 3 or 4 or 5. They do have different weapon arrays, if you will, but the power-ups remain the same. You can get 3 upgrades to your shot, so there's 3 stages of that, and you can actually have 2 options. And as you can see there, the directional power-ups, you do get, you pick up, 3 different ones, so you can, one that shoots like backwards, one that shoots side to side, and one that kind of circles around, and then also one that shoots diagonally, if you will. So anyway, as I was mentioning as well, you can select the stages. So similar to a game, say like Mega Man or something like that, where you need to get certain power-ups to clear the levels. In a sense, this game is a little bit like that. because if you go to, you know, once you progress to a certain part in the game, if you don't have the right directional shot, the level can be a little bit more difficult than it should be. There's an example of that coming up here, so check that out.
You'll kill them all.
It's what they would want me to do, Gary. They would happily give their lives for the good of the world, something you don't understand.
There has to be another way.
There's nobody left to stop Kim Jong-il.
Let me go.
You're a butt-fucking quitter.
This is actually the second time I have played through this game. I kind of did it in the wrong order. I was not, of course, saying we have around here. I think what was it? Tenacious D, Jack Black on the Masterworks. He he coined the phrase, you know, like always record. It's a skit. You know, if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. It's pretty hilarious. But yeah. So I was playing through and I was not recording, and of course I beat the game. So it was like, okay, I was writing down the passwords and stuff as I was going. But anyway, so shooting this video, the game, it's not hard, but it's actually kind of frustrating. So it was like I was doing certain, like I would get to a certain point and I just couldn't pass the level, so I got frustrated and just, you know, reverted to an old password to progress the footage to show you guys the different levels. But because of that, I kind of didn't show like the best order to do the game in, and I didn't exactly show which levels have all the different power-ups you need to get. Now, upcoming, I believe it's the stage after this, we get a power-up. So I do show you one. In a sense, that's kind of good because sometimes these walkthroughs, they can take away from, you know, like you watch a gameplay review or a walkthrough or whatever. This is more of a complete. Once you watch the whole thing, you go play the game yourself. There's no surprises. There's no mystery. So, in a sense, I'm kind of glad that it worked out that way because now you can watch this video and not like can be completely spoiled upon the whole game. So, but anyway, this fire stage I have found is probably the easier stage to start with. If you go like this one, you get a power up, and then you go do the first. I think the first stage, and then the water level, I believe, ends up being the hardest level because there's some underground levels that are really difficult, and you need the directional shots to make them a little easier to pass. So yeah, upcoming here, there is that power up.
I just think about the saddest moment in my life.
Now, there are a lot of different controllers that you can get on the NES. You know, there's a regular, what we like to call brick controller. There is the Advantage, and a number of different non-Nintendo made products, or OEM, I believe. I'm not sure if that's what the original Nintendo ones are called, but I know that SNES, you know, like the OEM brand stuff is what you want to get. However, there are, you know, the three main ones we like to use are either the brick, the Advantage, and, well, I like the Max. It's got this kind of like circular directional pad on it. It's supposed to maybe not hurt your thumb as much, because those, you know, those hard cross D pads on the NES can really wrench on your thumb after a while. And so, you know, once I didn't know that controller existed either, you know, until recently. I found it somewhere and picked it up, and I've been trying to find games to use it on. Initially, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be great for, like, I really like, or, well, you know, we really like to play California games, and there's this surfing level on there. I thought it was going to be awesome for that. Like, I was going to pull off all sorts of, like, swirly birds off the waves and get great scores and everything, but as a matter of fact, it made it a little bit harder. However, this game, I actually ran through this entire game using the Max, and it was refreshing. It was nice to finally find a game that I could use the NES Max on. So whether this is the only game that's suitable for that or not, it was nice to be able to use that. Okay, I think, oh no, okay, so this level here is an example of where, you know, you get a little bit further in this level and you really need the directional shots to pass. There's just a lot of tough angles, so I believe I'm going to end up wiping on this level. And now, if you guys haven't had a chance to see the movie Team America World Police, I would recommend you do. Some of it is a little raunchy. You can get an unrated version or just a regular theatrical version. So based on your preference, go with that. But even the theatrical version is a little bit raunchy at times and possibly offensive. But, you know, if you guys follow the works of, you know, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, you know, i.e. South Park, some of that stuff, you know what you're getting yourself into. But if you haven't seen any of their stuff, okay, so see, there's an example of the round one. That's not what I need here. But yeah, if you haven't seen their stuff or are not aware of them, do take caution if you are going to watch the movie, because it can and will, and I believe was their intention, to kind of push the boundaries, you know, of what is conventional. So, and you know, but I personally like the movie. Watched it when it came out. We all watched it in the theaters. Had a great time with it.
I want to believe in you, Gary. I really do. But you've let me down before. All right. I'll trust you. But only if you will perform oral sex on me.
The hour's approaching to give it your best, and you've got to reach your prime. That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us the passage of time. We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage. Show a lot of things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every shot, show a little improvement to show it what would take too long. That's called a montage. Girl, we want a montage. And anything if you want to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Always fade out in a montage. If we fade out, it seems like more time has passed in a montage.
Alright, so as we near the end of Thunderbirds, just want to say thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are having a great 4th of July, celebrating safely and having a great time with your friends and family. And also, you know, here with us at Brothers Forge Gaming. So we'd like to thank you for tuning in, watching our vid. Hopefully, like I said, you guys are being entertained. That is the goal here, is to also inform and entertain. Now, overall, this is a pretty good game. It has very good graphics and an excellent soundtrack. I would say it's on par with any of the you know, major title developers such as Capcom, Konami, any of those guys from the early NES era who ruled the roost. I could say this game would stand up with any title you bring from them. It is a pretty solid game. The fact that you can take multiple hits and you get power-ups, some of which stack, others which are permanent. You know, there's just a lot of variety. You can select the levels to start the game, so you don't have to get stuck on the first level and not be able to play the game. All of these make for a good overall experience. And again, the level of difficulty on this game is not exceptionally difficult. So if you're looking for a nice entry into NES or into a shooter genre in the 8-bit era, this, you know, I would recommend this title. It is all around a fantastic game. Well, you guys have seen it here at Brothers Forge Gaming, bringing it to ya. Thunderbirds on the NES. Also, big thanks to the guys, the designers, you know, the guys at Trey Parker, Matt Stone, the creators of such hits as South Park, Basketball, which is also a hilarious movie, and another kind of off-color one that they do, Orgasmo. Not sure if that was their first film or one of their first films, but it's also pretty entertaining. But also you know, takes a certain kind of audience to watch that one. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. A lot of their early works, huge fan of their stuff, early works. And so yeah, you guys check out their stuff, check out any of our other stuff on Brothers Forge Gaming. You know, we do a lot of game reviews here, a lot of let's plays, if you will, and so we like to keep it lighthearted and fun. If you guys enjoy this kind of programming, make sure to stick around. Why don't you know, give us a subscription, hit that like on the thing, drop us some comments, do any and or all of such things, or none of those things. It's your choice. That's what makes it great. So, like I said, I hope you guys are out there having a great time, you know, partying it up, being responsible, though, enjoying life, enjoying our freedom here that we get to enjoy in our country, land of the free, home of the brave. And as the introduction to this video says, America, fuck yeah! Happy Independence Day, guys. Keep it easy out there. Stick around for more hits. It's been Brothers Forge Gaming.